we are on a special visit at the U.S. Marine Base, joining the activity of one of the most elite Marine Corps units, which mans the front lines of the war against terror.
HMLA 469 is one of 3 squadrons that the Marine Corps added to the Marine Corps' capability in response to September 11th. As we entered Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Iraqi Freedom, they realized we needed additional forces. They stood up additional infantry battalions, additional logistic units, and they went to stand up an additional 3 Marine light attack helicopter squadrons. We were the second of those 3 to stand up. And actually our mantra, our call sign, Vengeance, is in response to President George W. Bush's statement on that day when he spoke at Ground Zero following September 11th.
Primarily we provide close air support to the ground control, GCE, ground combat commanders on the deck. So, but we can also provide supporting like aerial delivery, armed escort.
My unit's job is to provide fire support, utility support, attack and utility helicopter support to the Marine Air Ground Task Force as required. We have 2 different aircraft. We're TO'd to have Cobras, AH-1 Whiskey, Super Cobras, and UH-1 Yankee Hueys.
We join the forces as they train to act efficiently when called to duty.
Today we were executing an armed reconnaissance mission, so simulating deep air strike, going behind enemy lines. In this case, we were attacking a logistical node and a transportation facility.
Right now is a normal training day here at Camp Pendleton. We're training for the next fight. So we've got sorties going out doing close air support, rehearsals. We got aircraft going out practicing delivering munitions accurately, and we've got aircraft going out practicing doing assault support missions, which we do with our Huey helicopters.
Planning for these missions is very time intensive, very detail oriented. Crew will come together. They'll be given their mission statement. At a minimum, most missions here are going to require at least 6 hours of planning. And then for the larger missions, you can look at 3 or 4 days of planning by 10 or 12 pilots.
Typical day in the squadron when we're back here in the continental United States is we're training. We're training our maintainers to take care of these weapon systems, our Hueys and our Cobras, and make sure they're ready for the next mission. And we're training our air crew to go out and execute those missions.
We're always improving by training. So for the pilots and the air crew, we're conducting training missions from first thing in the morning until the field closes at night. In addition to that, we're all Marines. So everyone is still conducting what we call greenside training. Go to the rifle range, execute your MAP, your Marine Corps martial arts training, and getting your swim quals, etc.
Being part of units like this one means lots of activity abroad.
My squadron, we just came back from a unit deployment program to the Western Pacific.
Since graduating flight school, joining the fleet in 2004, I've deployed 6 times. I have, from the beginning, Okinawa, Iraq, Afghanistan, throughout most of the Pacific, Hawaii, Australia.
At the completion of our mission, we had the earthquakes in the Republic of Nepal, and they called us to bring out some Hueys and support for humanitarian assistance and disaster relief, which we did for 3 weeks out there in May. So we went out and we supported the relief efforts, supporting USAID and the U.S. government's response to the Nepali request for humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. Highly successful mission. We delivered many tons of supplies and moved those things to the people who needed it in the Himalayan mountains.
As we tour the base, we meet representatives who on field actually join the ground forces.
If I'm attached to an infantry unit and we're going in on an objective, we're doing a combat operation, I'll be with that ground force commander and I'll be the one talking to the aircraft as a liaison per se to that ground force, to the air, and therefore whatever fires he wants and where he wants it, my job is to direct it. In combat, when I got young men by me, 19 years old, 20 years old, serving their country as well, and they're willing to give their life for me. That's probably the most defining moment in my life when I have those young men doing that. We have door guns, we have forward firing guns, we have rockets, we have precision fire weapons. All those depends on what the target is, what we're doing on the ground, and what's going to keep the Marines on the ground the safest. What needs to be destroyed needs to be destroyed. Nothing else does. So we do a lot of work to ensure that we make sure that, one, targets that need to be destroyed are going to get destroyed and nothing else is going to get hurt. Try to avoid civilian casualties, try to avoid all that.
So what does it mean to be a Marine?
Being a Marine covered you could almost say the full spectrum of human emotion and human experience. Everything from the wonderful parts, helping out on humanitarian missions, giving people food and clothing who don't have it, to the rougher end of human experience as well, and confronting violence and evil throughout the world, and all the way to the tougher end of it, where you're comforting families who've lost their own.